It's all going to end, and you're going to be begging for people to come up and ask you to sign their autograph. Because after a little bit of time, people are going to forget you. I don't think anybody's going to forget Sparky anytime soon. I'm going to miss getting my annual Christmas card from Sparky. It would always be the first one to arrive shortly after Thanksgiving. At Sparky's annual catch golf outing, I would meet Sparky and Dan Ewald for lunch. Dan, next month when we get together at Meadowbrook Country Club, I hope we can meet again at that same table and reminisce about our good friend. I will look for Sparky at his usual spot between the 9th green and the 10th tee, where Sparky would greet all the players participating in the outing. Sparky won't be there, but I'll still see him and hear him shout, "Daniel, my boy," and proceed to slap me in the face and knock me into next week. Well, maybe I won't miss that one so much. I will never forget Sparky, and with the retirement of his number, I hope you will never forget him also. Enjoy today's ball game because I know Sparky will. Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce Dan Ewald, longtime former Tigers Media Relations Director, Sparky's best friend, and a family spokesman, for a few words on behalf of the entire Anderson family. Dan?
Thank you, Dan. And thank you, fans, for sharing this memorable day with the Anderson family. As Dan already mentioned, Carol can't be here today, but she is here in spirit. And you can bet Sparky is here in spirit, too. On behalf of Sparky and his family, I thank Mr. Mike Ilitch, Dave Dombrowski, and the entire Tiger organization for this tremendous tribute to Sparky. If he were here today, he would also thank all of his players, coaches, and those behind the scenes who contributed to his success. And that means especially to all of you fans. Sparky loved Detroit. He loved the city spirit. He said Detroiters never surrender. He'd want to give yourselves a big round of applause today. Besides all of his baseball records, Sparky left his mark on Detroit with the creation of Catch, his charity to help underprivileged children. Sparky simply loved the kids. Catch remains so close to his heart. He thanks everyone who helped to create the charity in 1987. People like Dr. Clarence Livengood, Bob Pilkowitz, John Giannopoulos, and so many more, too numerous to mention. A special thanks to Executive Director Jim Hughes, who leads the way for the charity to grow. Most of all, Sparky and his family wish to share this tremendous honor of having his uniform number retired with all the people of Detroit. I was blessed to have worked with Sparky for 32 years. That's why I can confidently tell you that number 11 belongs as much to all of you people as it does to him. Sparky, Carol, Lee, Shirley, and Albert, thank you so much. God bless you.
At this point, the Detroit Tigers would like to present 3 gifts to the Anderson family. First, the Tigers are pleased to announce that the Sparky flag, which was raised on opening day and is now flying on the flagpole in deep left center, will be presented to the Anderson family in a custom wood case after the end of the 2011 season. Now I'd like to ask Tigers President, CEO, General Manager Dave Dombrowski to help in the unveiling of the second gift. This framed portrait features all members of the '84 World Championship team who were here during the 25th celebration 2 years ago. The celebration was special for a lot of reasons, but you can see on the faces of the players it was Sparky's presence and the joy that he brought to the occasion that made it truly special. We hope that this photograph will forever remind his family of the joy that he brought to all of us during his time in Detroit. And finally, I'd like to request Detroit Tigers owner Michael Ilitch to help present our third gift. Framed Detroit Tigers jersey bearing Sparky's number 11, officially signifying the retirement of Sparky's number 11 today. And now, as we prepare to unveil Sparky's number 11 on the brick facade above section 101, please turn your attention to the video board in left field for this special video tribute to Sparky Anderson.
First, the manager, number 11, Sparky Anderson.
You can be whoever you want to be. You just have to want it bad enough.
I believe Detroit will be in the race. I'm not going to predict anything for them, but nobody better take us very lightly.
We have a saying here, we don't know where we'll finish when we started, and nobody cares. I don't care, you don't care, but the one thing we do care about is how we go about this. We will play the best we can play every night.
September comes, we'll be there. Now, there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When September lands, Detroit Tigers will be in the race.
Swings, and there's a fly ball to left. Here comes Herndon. He's there. He's got it. The Tigers are the champions of 1984.
Mr. President, I know that you were a great Cubs fan, but I know if you've seen these kids, you'd be a Tiger fan.
If you're 30 games out, you play the very best team you have available on the field. Because if one fan paid their way to get in, if there's only one fan that showed up, they paid their way to get in. They deserve to see your very best club, the best you've got. And you have to live in Detroit. And I know what a lot of people say, but you got to live in Detroit to understand that's a great city.
And now may I direct your attention to the wall in right center field. Please welcome Sparky's grandchildren, George and Todd, as they remove the cover from the brick wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for attending today's historic Sparky Anderson's number 11 retirement ceremony. And as we conclude, please once again help me salute Sparky's family, friends, players, and colleagues who have joined us today on the field.
Very emotional, and one more chapter in a life well lived. You might find this interesting. Sparky Anderson didn't always wear number 11 with the Tigers. He wore number 10 with the Reds, but he didn't want the same number when he came to Detroit, and initially he wore number 7 here. But after a handful of days, he went to the equipment manager and said, this just doesn't feel right. He wore number 11 for 17 years. No one has worn it since he retired, and no one will ever again. Among the battles that Sparky liked best were some of those classic showdowns with the Toronto Blue Jays in the mid-1980s, and the Blue Jays are up next for the 2011 Tigers. We take a look ahead at the Tigers schedule. It's presented, as always, by Just For Men Hair Color. The Jays return to Detroit. It's a makeup game, and since the Jays are blasting in on their way home and they're the fireworks later tomorrow night, it's a 6 p.m. start. Then the Tigers resume their schedule with a last blast of interleague play, 3 against the Mets and then 3 against the Giants. Just as we look forward to the Tigers' upcoming schedule, you can live forward with Just For Men Hair Color. Brad Penny used to love facing the Arizona Diamondbacks. That was a couple of injuries ago, but he believes those are now behind him. We'll talk of his success against the Snakes and moving right along the pace of pitching. The Tigers Live continues in a moment. Tigers and Diamondbacks coming up. Arizona's Joe Saunders is a gamer. He's lasted at least 6 innings in 10 straight starts. He's rebounded nicely after a horrific 0-5 start to his season. It was a quality start for Brad Penny in his last one, but he doesn't believe in any of that because there's no such thing if it doesn't occur in a win. After winning 3 straight in May, Penny has last dropped 3 of his last 4 decisions. He has cleared a hurdle, and just now he believes that he is feeling strong after missing almost all of last season with that torn lat muscle. He's had success. He knows what he's trying to get done. Yes, he might work deliberately, but working steadily is the key for a guy like the veteran Brad Penny.
As long as they work at a consistent pace, and sometimes Brad gets a little fast, sometimes a lot of times he gets a little too slow, and I'm really not concerned with the pace of their game as long as they're throwing strikes. If strikes become an issue, then we'll try to tweak it one way or the other. Really, what's more important is the pace of his delivery.
Today, Penny faces a team against whom he's gone 10-3 in his career. The Tigers as a team are 15-2 in their last 17 games in interleague play here at home. We'll see if Sparky's looking down and loving the results. Back to the Call Sam studios. Here's Mickey Orr. Mick.
Sparky's number.
Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Today here in downtown Detroit, we honor a Tigers legend. Sparky Anderson's number 11 has been retired. 17 years in a Tigers uniform and more than 1,300 wins. Nobody will ever wear the number 11 in Detroit again. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, glad to have you with us. Rod Allen will join us in a moment for a special afternoon of Tigers Baseball. Sparky Anderson's number 11 has been retired. We'll be joined in the booth by several of his former players, and we should have a great time here this afternoon as the Tigers go at it here against the Diamondbacks in the final game of the series. As we get you ready for baseball, we send you back to the Call Sam studio now, and here's Mickey York. Motor City. The Tigers getting set to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. But the story before the game, the Tigers officially have put number 11 on the wall out there in right field, retiring the number 11 of Sparky Anderson, the great manager of the Tigers, who managed the Tigers to the '84 World Championship, a two-time American League Manager of the Year, and what a special event here this afternoon. And Rod, a great day here. You've got a packed house. We had a lot of emotion before the game today, as many of his former players recalled Sparky Anderson.
No doubt about that. And quickly after the ceremony concluded, a lot of us made our way over to the Diamondbacks side, where Kirk Gibson and Alan Trammell were standing in. Obviously, you can see what those two meant to the Tigers family, but Sparky Anderson was the one to bring everybody together here today.
Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker received the largest round of applause before this whole ceremony started. Sparky's family here as well. And it was a very emotional afternoon here at the ballpark as the Tigers officially retired the number 11 of the great Sparky Anderson here at Comerica Park. Well, fittingly, it is an absolutely beautiful day for baseball. Of course, Alan Trammell and Kirk Gibson these days are wearing Diamondbacks red. And here is the lineup turned in by Kirk Gibson today, brought to you by the Chevy Detroit dealers. And Willie Bloomquist will lead it off. He'll play second base, followed by Stephen Drew at short. Justin Upton is in right field. Chris Young will back cleanup and play center field. Miguel Montero catching. Willie Mopena, the DH, in your bottom three of Xavier Nady, Gerardo Parra, and Ryan Roberts. The scouting report on Brad Penny this afternoon is presented by Ace Hardware.
Well, what Brad Penny will need to do this afternoon, he really will need to locate his fastball in the low 90s, anywhere from 91 to 94. And he also needs to throw that split-fingered fastball today. The Diamondbacks don't strike out as much as they did last year, but they still strike out quite a bit. So that trickery pitch might be a good one today. And he's been outstanding against the Arizona Diamondbacks in his career. He is 10-3 with an earned run average under 2. Let's take a look at the defensive alignment this afternoon by Jim Leyland. You've got Bosch, you've got Jackson, you've got Wells in the outfield, the young legs. You've got Inge, Peralta, Rayburn, Cabrera. That's the infield. Victor Martinez putting down the signs today. He was the designated hitter the last couple of days.
There is Victor Martinez behind the plate here this afternoon in place of Alex Avila, who gets the afternoon off. And by the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, make sure you bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. They'll get yourself a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score at foxsportsdetroit.com.
Brad Penny making his 16th start for the Detroit Tigers. He comes in with 6 losses. He has 5 wins. The earned run average is sub-5. He had 90 innings pitched. The opponents are hitting .283 against Penny. And the one luxury that Brad Penny always has when he takes the mound the night after Verlander, that bullpen is fresh, should Brad Penny need some assistance today.
So we are ready for baseball in front of a packed house this afternoon. A glorious day here in the Motor City as we wrap up this series. We honor Sparky Anderson. We are hopeful of having a lot of his former players, or some of them at least, come through the booth here today. So it should be a fun afternoon here at Comerica Park. Willie Bloomquist is leading it off. It'll be Bloomquist, Drew, and Upton here against Penny to start this one off. And Brad's first pitch of the ball game is on the way. It's a ball inside, 1-0. 73 degrees and not a cloud in the sky right now. It's absolutely gorgeous. Bloomquist is batting .260. Former Seattle Mariner, Kansas City Royal. He pops it up. Left side of the infield. Peralta and Inge converge, and Johnny makes the play. Nice start to this one. 1 gone. We'll bring up Stephen Drew. Each team has a victory in this series. Of course, the Tigers riding the golden arm of Justin Verlander last night. And now Brad Penny trying to pick up where Verlander left off.
That 8th inning last night by Justin Verlander, him striking out the side after runners were on 2nd and 3rd. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Stephen Drew is batting .274 with 4 home runs this year, and he looks at ball 1 high. Now, Verlander didn't get the complete game, but he was as dominant and as impressive last night as he has been all season long.
He knew the 8th inning would be his last inning, so he treated that like it was a complete game.
Career high 14 strikeouts. That slap foul back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike on Stephen Drew.
It's always interesting the day after Verlander pitches and pitches as well as he has pitched lately to hear the comments coming from the other side. And they were simply, it's the best stuff we've seen in a long, long time.
And I'm sure the Diamondbacks are grateful they don't have to face Verlander over in the National League. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's popped up as well, heading back toward the seats. Martinez has room right in front of the dugout steps.
In case you missed it, this is what Verlander did last night after a double by Parra, the left fielder. He simply struck out the side. First and foremost, it was Roberts, and then it was Johnson, and then it was Justin Upton, and he was just sensational.
JB reaching back, much appreciated by the crowd of, well, better than 41,000, 43,000, I should say, last night. And that was the show right there, Justin Verlander. Here's Justin Upton. He looks at a ball outside. So as we turn our attention to today, the Tigers find themselves in a first-place tie in the Central Division with the Cleveland Indians. Trying to win 2 out of 3 here against the Diamondbacks. 2 balls, no strikes on Upton.
The Diamondbacks originally drafted Brad Penny back in 1996. He was a 5th-round selection out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Bouncing ball left side. It finds a hole. A 2-out base hit for Upton. Diamondbacks have their first base runner of the afternoon. Well, Penny has come back to haunt the team that drafted him, to be sure. His numbers, and you touched on these, career are awfully good. 10-3 with an ERA of less than 2. That's really good. And so he'll try to add to those numbers here today. Chris Young, the batter, with 2 outs.
Something going on with Justin Upton down at first base.
They just tossed a bottle of water out there for Upton. Well, maybe he's thirsty. Here comes the trainer. Certainly something more than that. Upton now is going to be tended to by the trainer, it appears.
Well, if you're going to err on any side, it's going to be on the side of caution, with Justin Upton. He is one of the brighter young stars in all of baseball. Very talented, still very young.
Upton's 7th hit on their current road trip. He has been extremely hot. And appears to be okay. So we continue now with Chris Young. Young in the series 3 for 80, has scored a couple of times. "15 home runs, leads the ball club, and he has knocked in 42. Two and 0 the count. High pop-up, shallow left field. Ainge calling everybody off in foul ground, and that is that for the Diamondbacks. No runs and a hit, 1 man left. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the first. first inning, honoring Sparky Anderson, who has won championships with both the Reds and your Detroit Tigers. The starting lineup today for the Tigers, brought to you by Big Boy. Jackson Wells Ordonez at the top. Cabrera is playing first base, batting cleanup. Then Victor Martinez catching today. Johnny Peralta has had a really good year at short. Bosch, Inge, Rayburn, your bottom three this afternoon. The Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Joe Saunders. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
They tell me that Saunders is not throwing as hard as he used to throw when he was pitching for the Angels, which means he's not going to overpower any of these Tigers hitters today. And he's also been working on a cut fastball to go along with his breaking ball and his fastball and his changeup. And they also want him to work at a little bit quicker pace. Let's take a look at the defensive alignment put out there by first-year manager Kirk Gibson. Parra, Young, Upton in the outfield. Roberts, Drew, Bloomquist, Nady round out the infield. And the slugging catcher, Miguel Montero, is behind the plate, putting down the fingers for Joe Saunders.
All right, here come the Tigers now in the bottom of the first inning. It is Austin Jackson leading it off against Saunders. Jackson, Wells, and Ordonez. First pitch high and away from Joe Saunders. Jackson in the series 3 for 8. He has tripled and scored a couple of runs. The triple that he hit was his 6th of the year, which ties him for the lead in that category in the American League. Playing in this ballpark with his speed, there's a good chance he will lead the league at the end of the year in triples. He'll shoot that one down the right field line. It is slicing. That'll go foul. Jackson made a bid the other way. So much has been made, Rod, about Jackson's power or lack thereof his first year and whether or not it will come this year or the next or whenever. He has 3 homers this year, but I think he spent much of April just trying to dig out of a hole and get base hits, let alone home runs.
And that's the reason why he had to dig out of that hole, is because he went to spring training this year trying to find some power that's not necessarily there. Jackson might not be a power hitter, but I kind of like the table setter game. Regarding him, get on base, steal some bases, score 100 runs, hit close to 300, play some stellar defense, and that's what he brings to the dance.
Got him strike 3 as Saunders caught him looking that time.
That's a pretty good fastball there by Saunders, and it was located beautifully on the inner third of the plate at 90 miles an hour.
First strikeout of the ball game for Saunders. That'll bring up Casper Wells, who has really done very well in his recent starts.
Last couple of starts against left-handers, one Ted Lilly, the other day here as well. He played long ball.
And he pops this one foul back out of play. Couple of homers, 3 RBIs in his last 10. Wells out in right field in this one. Bosch in left and Jackson in center. That's how Leland has his outfield aligned today.
It looks like that might be part of Saunders' game plan this afternoon, is to bust the Tigers aggressively inside and then get to that changeup down and away. There you have it.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Casper, like many of these Tigers, is having a terrific month of June. In fact, 3 of his 4 home runs have come this month. And he's hitting .333. When he's got a chance to play, he has produced. Saunders missing that time, 2-2. Bouncing ball to third, deep behind the bag. Roberts has it, throws him out. Here comes Maglio Ordonez now with 2 outs. Wave and a miss for Maglio, who's batting .183. He's had good numbers in his career against Saunders. 9 for 21 with a home run. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1 now on Maglio. A couple of hits and 7 at bats in the series. Saunders hails from Springfield, Virginia. That's where he was born. He is 30 years old, 6'3", 210. And this lace to center field, a base hit. So Ordonez continues to swing it against Saunders in his career. 10 for 22 now. 2-out base runner for Miguel Cabrera. Gabby checks in at 327. Not bad this series. 3 out of 6. Ball 1 high and away to Cabrera. Some of Miguel's best work has come against these Diamondbacks. 341 career with 10 long balls against Arizona pitching over the years. Of course, we've seen a lot of that, or he did, in his days with Florida. And he tips one into the glove for strike 1. 1-1. Soft line drive over the glove, out of the reach of Bloomquist, who made a diving attempt. Ordonez gets to third. It's a clunker of a hit, but Cabrera will take it.
Looked like Cabby hit that ball right off the end of the bat. It was a changeup. It was a good pitch by Saunders, but Bloomquist, after a tremendous effort, came up empty.
First scoring chance of the ball game now for Detroit with 2 outs, and we'll see if Victor Martinez can make good on it. Martinez has just been getting better and better and better. He had 250 in April. He got better in May, and look what he's done in June.
On base percentage as well has gone way up.
So Martinez, who was 3 for 7 in the series, a chance to drive in a run here. Ball 1.
Martinez, one of those hitters that you have to play straight up defensively. Everybody pretty much playing their regular position. No one shading him to the left, to the right. And that's what you have when you have a career 300 hitter that hits the ball from foul line to foul line from both sides of the plate. You have to play him straight up.
Lined, and that is a foul ball down the left field line. Boy, that just missed, kicking up some chalk.
This is what Victor did last night. He had a couple of singles in the ball game, but he's been getting hits every single day. He's been one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball the month of June. And he has been money, batting right behind Miguel Cabrera.
.375 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year. Fouled straight back.
They've got a couple of guys that have some really good numbers in that same situation. Donnie Peralta in the on-deck circle has done his fair share of damage this year with 2 out men in scoring position. Whoa.
One ball, 2 strikes on Martinez. Popped him up. First base side and foul ground. Nady, and Martinez won't get it done this time. Tigers strand 2. We go to the second. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. And by Arby's. Stop by today and try the new Shroomin' Swiss Sandwich. Arby's. It's good mood food. Back here at the ballpark where earlier today, this afternoon before the game, the number 11 of Sparky Anderson was retired. And the ceremony out on the field before the game started. And of course, number 11 is out there on the brick wall in right field. And nobody ever in a Tigers uniform will wear that number again. Miguel Montero leads it off. He'll be followed by Willie Mopena and then Xavier Nady. Brad Penny's first pitch is fouled back out of play, 0-1. Montero hitless in the series, 0 for 4. Diamondbacks couldn't get a whole lot going last night against Verlander. They managed only 5 hits the entire game. 4 of those came against Justin. Here's the 0-1. That's in the air. Right field, playable. Casper Wells. First out of the inning. Now Willie Mopena. Willie Mo was signed as a minor league free agent at AAA this year. Was absolutely tearing it up. He had knocked in 63 runs in 63 games. A couple of home runs at the major league level, including one a couple of nights ago that may still be flying out there in left field. Ball high, 1-0.
Big and strong and physical, with a lot of raw power. A lot of raw power.
Rolled foul. You know, if you wanted to, you could call him country strong, couldn't you?
You could. You could.
He kind of fits into that mold.
He could. He most definitely could be called country strong. It was good seeing Marcus last week, wasn't it?
In LA, yeah, absolutely. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Take a look at Victor Martinez. He is off the plate on that last offering, and the glove was hit by Penny, and he got a swing and miss. Literally off the plate outside on that last delivery. He swung at one. Let's try it again.
Swing and a miss. It worked. 2 gone.
He's playing games with Willie Mopena. Take a look at the left foot here of Victor Martinez. He's done a pat inside a couple of times. He wants Willie Mopena to think they're going in there. And you saw the hips of Willie Mopena start to clear out looking for that fastball inside, and the ball was away.
That's classic.
Yes, indeed.
Now, as a hitter, do you believe, or do you?
No, you don't buy.
You don't believe. You don't buy that.
You don't buy into it. I mean, you always see catchers pat their glove inside. You don't buy into that stuff.
2 outs now for Xavier Nady. Ball 1. I've seen patting the glove. I don't think I've seen a catcher kicking at the dirt to try and fool a hitter. Nady at 267, couple of hits and 4 at bats in the series, and 3 RBIs. He played in game 1, had a big night. 1-1. Penny in search of the 1-2-3 second inning. A 1-1 pitch. Chris Cuccione up with the right hand, 1-2. Brand in his last start gave up just 2 runs, both of them earned in Los Angeles, team that he used to pitch for, in 6 innings of work. However, the Tigers lost that game 4-0. The 1-2. Penny in that game drew Clayton Kershaw as the opponent that night. Kershaw was outstanding. 2-2 on Xavier Nady. Gerardo Parra waiting on deck. Should Nady reach and keep this inning going? And the 2-2. Chop to third. Brandon has a nice easy hop. Penny has a nice easy 1-2-3 second inning. We'll go to the bottom of number 2. No score. Baseball's biggest stars will gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night in this summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix at 8 p.m. Eastern on your local Fox station. Gorgeous day here in the Motor City. A great day as Tigers' Sparky Anderson's number 11 was retired before the game today. And Johnny Peralta leads it off in the bottom of the second inning. Great ceremony before the ball game this afternoon. A lot of former Tigers are here, and we hope to be speaking to a few of them as the broadcast continues today. 1 ball, 1 strike on Peralta. He'll be followed by Bosch and then Brandon Inge. Joe Saunders gave up a couple of hits, but no runs in the first. 1-2. Saunders in his second season with the Diamondbacks. Inside and high. Run the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Showed you Johnny's numbers last half inning against Saunders. 8 for 17 with 2 long balls. He has owned Joe Saunders. That's fouled back out of play. 3-2 the count stays. Another fabulous crowd here this afternoon on a sunny 73-degree day. Looks like a sellout. Oh my goodness. Now that is cool. To the upper reaches of the upper deck. That's driven deep to left, but it's going to hook. Johnny tried to get to the upper deck. Three balls, 2 strikes on Peralta. Driven high in the air to left field. Back to the corner it goes. Parra to the wall, and he's done it again against Saunders. Hands on his hips. Saunders can't figure out what to do with Peralta. Third career home run against Joe Saunders. 1-0 Detroit.
Johnny knew he was going to get a changeup that was down. It was away. He went out. He got it. He flipped it back to left field, and he found the seats just above the Tigers bullpen. It's a really good swing by Peralta. It wasn't all that bad a pitch by Joe Saunders.
Here is Bosch for Peralta, home run number 12. 44th RBI as well. Bosch having a big year. Most of his damage has been done at the top of the Tigers lineup. Was hitting third with Maglio on the disabled list most every day. Johnny's all smiles. Into shallow right field. Upton. One gone.
Hey fans, Tuesday at 7:05, the Tigers open a 3-game series against the New York Metropolitans. The first 10,000 fans receive a Tigers military cap. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com.
One out now for Brandon Inge. Strike one on Brandon. It's a stylish looking hat, by the way. Inge at 207. He's 1 for 8 in the series. Saunders 0-1. Driven in the air, left field. Hooking though. Foul. Boy, he hit that thing a ton. Just a shade too early. Saunders breathing a sigh of relief. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Inge out on strikes. Second strikeout for Saunders. Here is Ryan Rayburn. Rayburn at 201. He's 0 for 3 in the series. And Saunders missing inside, 1-0. Here's the bunt. It'll go foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Saunders was acquired by Arizona from the Angels in the Dan Herron deal. Herron going the other way. And when Saunders, who grew up in the Angels organization, was traded, he was extremely distraught over the fact of joining the Diamondbacks. Not that he necessarily didn't want to go to Arizona, but he didn't want to leave the organization that he grew up in. That's fouled back out of play. And I think he felt that he had won enough games to warrant remaining in their rotation. Had a couple of big years with them.
He makes his home in Arizona and has done so for a number of years.
Well, from 08 to 09 with the Angels, he was 33-14. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dan Herron, meanwhile, doing pretty well in a Halos uniform. 2-2 on Rayburn. Outside, run it full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. If Rayburn keeps it going, Jackson would be next. Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts for Saunders. Tigers get on the board though. Johnny Peralta does it again. is brought to you by AT&T. Motor City Casino Hotel, a million miles away, right down the street. And by Lipton's Recipe Secrets, the secret to great tasting recipes. Back here in downtown Detroit, it's 1-0 in favor of the Tigers. They lead Arizona on the Peralta home run. By the way, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's Player of the Game. It's presented by the Angus Third Pounder today. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space, then the player's uniform number to 37338. Or you can vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. I'm going to go with Johnny Peralta today. How about you, Rod? Again, you laugh at me. Why do you laugh at me when I make my picks?
Are you really going with Johnny Peralta?
Well, he just homered. Why not? All right, I'll pick someone else.
No, you can have Johnny today.
Okay.
Give me an out. I'll pick somebody today.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you the rest of the field, and I'll take Johnny. How about that? 1-0 in favor of Detroit. And it's going to be Gerardo Parra to lead it off here in the third. Brad Penny delivers outside, 1-0.
Can I still take JB?
From last night? A little carryover effect?
Yeah.
You still might win. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's actually pretty good thinking, because I'll bet, even though he's not pitching today, he will get some votes.
Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he?
Here's the 2-0 to Parra. 2-1.
Looks like Brad Penny is throwing some fastballs up in the strike zone today by design. And Comerica's a big park, even though a lot of these guys have some power. And the Diamondbacks batting order, if you can elevate that fastball and make them hit the ball out to center field, you know Jackson is going to run it down. And very few of them, although they have power, they can get over that 420 mark in straightaway center.
2-2. Parra lunging at a pitch out of the strike zone. Penny had gone first pitch strikes on just the first or one of the first 7 batters, so it's not like he had been getting ahead a lot of the Arizona hitters to start. But he's allowed just 1 hit.
You have to be careful against a team like Arizona. Yes, they have some power. They hit lots of extra base hits, but they also are very, very aggressive, which means sometimes you don't have to give in to the strike zone. They will chase something.
And Parra swings and misses. Victor will throw him out, 1 away. Second strikeout for Penny. Back to the studio we go. Time for a game break. Here is Mickey York. Yeah, those are kind of neat. A lot of teams going to the throwbacks now. We saw the Tigers going back to, 1944 in that game against the Dodgers.
The Dodgers had their throwbacks on as well.
There's a strike call on Ryan Roberts, who is a late addition to the Arizona lineup. Melvin Mora was scheduled to start at 9th and play third base. He was scratched, though. Roberts hammers one to right center field. That ball is down. It's a base hit. Wells will get it in quickly in a 1-out single. Second base hit of the day for Arizona. Here's Willie Bloomquist. Two for 5 in the series and batting .258. Roberts, the guy that can swipe a bag. He has 9 this year. And there he goes. And now he puts on the brakes. Quick throw, and they got him hung up. Cabby throws high. The tag still got him.
Nice athletic play by Peralta.
Cabrera says thank you very much to his buddy Johnny. Well, Roberts started, stopped, and then Martinez threw behind him.
It's a good heads-up play here by Victor by holding on to the ball, finally getting it to Cabrera. Cabrera first swiped the tag. He thought Roberts was going to go back, and then that caused him to throw over the head of Roberts. And look at Johnny. He elevated, then he got back down and applied the tag.
Bloomquist hits a ground ball to second. And Rayburn scoops this one up, and just like that, the inning is over. No runs, one hit, nobody left. Go to the bottom of the third. By supporting the March of Dimes with Farmers Insurance now through June 29th. Text HERO to 20222 to make a $5 donation or visit your local Farmers agents at farmers.com. Great day for baseball here in the Motor City as we retire the number 11 of the great Sparky Anderson. And that has adorned the outfield wall now out there in right field, along with some other great names in Tigers history. Top of the order coming up. Austin Jackson will lead things off, and he looks at a ball high. It'll be Jackson, Wells, and Ordonez. Austin struck out back in the first inning. Fouled off. 1 ball and 1 strike. Three strikeouts on the afternoon for Joe Saunders. There's a bunt. Back to the screen it goes. 2-2.
Not a bad idea by Jackson, but one of the things you have to do when you're bunting for a base hit, you have to take your time, get the ball down, and then run. Had that been Austin's approach there, he would have gotten himself a base hit by bunting that ball down toward third base.
And the 2-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Jackson.
Austin Jackson, the second right-handed batter that we've seen in this game attempt to bunt for a base hit down third. Ryan Rayburn also tried it when he was in the batter's box.
Saunders' last start came against Kansas City in interleague play. Won that game. Gave up just 2 runs in 7 innings. And that snapped a 2-game losing streak. 3-2 is high. Ball 4. Leadoff man on.
Saunders has a really good pickoff move, and I know that's exactly what Tom Brookins is relaying to Jackson right now down at first base. Do not get picked off. He's got a really good pickoff move.
Casper Wells coming up.
Casper looking for some signs down toward Gene Lamont, but those signs that Lamont is going through probably mean absolutely nothing for Casper. He's a guy that really doesn't bunt.
One and 0. Well, we've often talked about how Jim Leyland likes power in that second spot when he can insert it there. But normally you typically think of a guy that bats in the 2-hole as a guy that can bunt and move some runners up.
Table setter kind of guy.
Yeah, put a little hit and run. Not that Wells can't do that, but certainly a different type of number 2 hitter. Had a good rip there, 1-1.
That appeared to be a hit and run right there. And to give you an idea of the respect that Jackson has for Saunders' move, take a look at how late Jackson takes off. Take a look here. The ball's on its way to home plate, then he takes off. So that clearly was a hit and run there. Jackson has 12 steals. He's been caught twice.
Tigers have the leadoff man on here in the third. They lead 1-0 on the home run by Johnny Peralta. Wells pops it foul back out of play. He's behind in the count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Saunders last year reached 200 innings for the first time in his career, and despite winning all those games with the Angels, he had never pitched 200 innings in a season. And he finished 9-17 last year.
When he was in that rotation for the Angels, they had really good bullpens. 7th, 8th, 9th inning guys. Mike Scioscia would always go to.
There is strike 3 into the glove of the catcher Montero. 1 gone. 4 strikeouts for Saunders. He's going to bring up Ordonez. Maglio had a base hit back in the first. One of the 3 Tigers hits so far in this game. Shoot that one foul. There are 2 guys in the lineup today for the Tigers that really hit Saunders well. One is Ordonez, the other is Peralta, and they both already have a hit in this game. Johnny's, of course, left the ballpark. A solo shot to give us our only run of the game.
Saunders doing a very nice job of keeping his double play in order. If you're a left-hander, you might as well work very, very hard on your move. Therefore, guys can't steal. And in these situations, 1 pitch can get you out of a jam.
And Ordonez has been prone to hitting into double plays in his career.
That's right.
Two and 1. Jackson led things off with a walk. Still standing at first base with 1 out. Jackson again leaning back toward the bag at first base, so he's having a real difficult time of getting a good lead and a good jump on Saunders. Good secondary lead. Two and 2. Missed it inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So now with one out, we'll see if Jackson is on the run here.
Well, he might as well send him. He's not going to get a good jump. But you're banking on Ordonez not striking out. And then again, Jim just might have him stay put to make sure Cabrera comes to the plate in this inning.
Runner goes, and it's line caught on a dive by Roberts, and they'll get the double play. Oh my goodness, what a play by Ryan Roberts. Inning over on a spectacular diving play by the Arizona third baseman.
Ordonez is starting to hit the ball sharply to the right side of the field and saw to the left side of the field. He pulled this one right down toward third base. What a play by Roberts. He dives, he sprawls, and with Jackson on the run, he didn't have to make the throw back across the diamond. Well, actually he did, because Jackson simply stopped, but he could have went over and tagged Jackson. But what a nice play.
And so it probably saved a run, and it remains a 1-0 game. The Tigers with a run on the home run by Johnny Peralta. Brad Penny going back to the mound here as we head to the top of the fourth inning. He will face Stephen Drew, Justin Upton, and Chris Young. Well, I guess you couldn't ask for better weather here on a day where they retired Sparky Anderson's number. A jam-packed house. Temperature in the low 70s. Nothing but sunshine here at the ballpark. And Stephen Drew will stand in. Drew popped up his first time. And he takes ball one. Penny is in search of his first win since June the 5th when he won in Chicago. Foul back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Drew is the longest tenured Diamondback shortstop in their still young history in the major leagues. He's played over 700 games at that shortstop position for Arizona. The 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Very, very talented family. We talked about this the other night. JD is his brother. Also, Tim Drew, another brother of his, was a former first-round pick, and Stephen was a first-round pick. Here's the 2-1. High, 3 balls, 1 strike. And the 3-1 pitch. Lifted toward left, but this will get back out of play into the seats. 3-2 on Stephen Drew. 2, 3, and 4 facing Brad Penny here in the 4th inning. Toward the shortstop, tough play for Peralta. And a nice play in the backhand. Drew is gone, 1 away.
Nice little one-hop backhand by Johnny Peralta, and he knows he has quite a bit of time to set his feet and redirect his body and throw a strike back across the diamond. He has been tremendous this year. He's only committed 3 errors. Good for a .988 fielding percentage. There can't be many other shortstops in this league better, percentage-wise.
Here is Upton. I would imagine he's right up there. 3 errors for that position as we head into July is not a whole lot.
Some of your more talented shortstops in the game of baseball, a couple of guys that have real good range. The guy in Texas, Andrews, and the guy in Chicago, Alexi Ramirez. They both have committed at least 10 errors apiece this year.
Here's the 0-1 to Upton.
He does have the fewest amount of errors at that position for everyday shortstops and the highest fielding percentage. Something said for a guy that makes all the plays, all the routine plays.
Well, the reason he went to third base in Cleveland was they felt his range had dissipated so much that he really wasn't an asset at short. But
the other guy was pretty good too.
Yeah, that helped. The 1-1. Cabrera, Hasdrubal Cabrera necessitating that move. But here in Detroit, he has really done a fabulous job, as you say, of making every play that he is expected to make.
Tigers are very smart in signing him to a 2-year contract as well.
The other thing, I guess, to figure into that whole equation is when you've got a guy like Inge at third base who has as much range as he does, that helps him a bit.
No doubt.
Ooh, just off the plate. 2-2 on Upton. Brandon back in the lineup these days after missing a couple of weeks with mononucleosis.
This young man has a lot of power. I mean, he has a lot of power. Not all that big in stature, but he's got a lightning quick bat. And he can hit the ball a long, long way. And hits it extremely hard as well.
Driven to center field. Jackson is on the move for the second out. Time for the AT&T trivia question this afternoon. Let's see what we have today. Name the 5 managers with more wins than Sparky Anderson. Sparky career had 2,194. There are only 5 in the history of the game with more. Can you name them?
Great question today. Sparky Anderson won the World Series in both leagues.
First manager to do so. Won it with the Big Red Machine in the mid-70s a couple of times.
How about that Big Red Machine that he was able to skipper for a few years? Hall of Fame players everywhere. Bench, Morgan.
And Jim Leland was talking about that before the game today, saying that, you know, you'd think it would be easy to be a push-button manager with a team like that, but when you have that many stars, sometimes it can be a challenge.
He had Hall of Fame players. And the shortstop should be in the Hall of Fame, Davey Concepcion. If you look at his numbers compared to some of the other shortstops that are in the Hall of Fame. And of course, Pete Rose was on that squad.
Yep, absolutely. And he had Tram in his days in Detroit, an outstanding shortstop. Hall of Fame caliber.
He and Lou Whitaker. He brought them up at the same exact time, and he put them at second and short respectively, and they played there for a number of years. Tram and Lou got wonderful rounds of applauses here today by this crowd during that ceremony.
Strike call.
They don't see Lou very much. They appreciated the work he did here.
Three and one on Young. There's a strike. Did that story go about Sparky when he took over the Reds? He had all of his Hall of Famers stand up, or future Hall of Famers, like Rose and Bench and Morgan and Perez and Concepcion, and he said, boys, these are the guys that are going to bring us to the playoffs in the World Series. The rest of you, enjoy the ride. So he knew, and he wanted his team to know, these guys are going to be the guys that are going to get it done for him.
Yeah.
That's popped up. And Penny's going to take it himself. The 1-2-3 inning for Brad. Let's go to the bottom of the fourth. To you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Nissan's National Tent Event. Big Tent, tremendous savings. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local dealer. Well, some Tram fans in attendance here. And, of course, a lot of us still miss Tram. Good to see Tram back, even though he's wearing Arizona colors. And, of course, we're all celebrating Sparky Anderson today and the retirement of his number 11. Here at the ballpark. It's a pretty cool cutout right there of the man.
Absolutely.
So here come the Tigers now, leading at 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. And Cabrera skies one a mile high to center field. Young is waiting. First out of the inning. Cabrera is out of there. That'll bring up Victor Martinez. And as Victor strolls to the plate, want to welcome in one of the 84 Tigers here, of course, who played for Sparky Anderson, Dave Bergman, who is back here for the ceremonies today. Dave, welcome. It's a pleasure.
It's great to be here.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
How are you?
Give us your thoughts. This was a tremendous, I thought, ceremony before the game today, and I thought at times somewhat emotional.
I think everybody felt Sparky here at the ballpark today. I know we, the players, sitting down on the field, you just felt his presence, and the fact that we could represent Sparky was that in itself is an honor.
That's driven deep to center. That'll be out number 2 as Martinez is out of there. Well, Dave, I want to talk about Sparky because you played for him, I believe, for about 9 years. If you could sum up Sparky in a few words, you don't have a lot of words, but just a few words, what are those words?
I hate to be redundant, and I say the same thing often. Sparky taught us how to be men. He was the boss. We all knew it. It was his way. And if you didn't want to abide by his rules, you were gone. And as we got older, we all recognized and learned from him that his rules were very good rules to have.
And you still use a lot of those rules today in some of the youth that you teach, don't you?
I do. I take a lot of things that I learned playing for Sparky and kind of convey it to the kids. And Sparky's rules were not like, you needed a PhD to know them. Right. Be on time, treat people with respect, play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And if you do that, you won't have any problems.
1 ball, 1 strike on Peralta, outside 2-1.
How about his managerial skills, Dave? I was only around him for a very short time at the beginning of that '84 season, but it didn't take me very long to realize that he didn't miss anything, and he seemed to outmanage the other managers quite often.
Well, one could argue that trying to figure out what Sparky was thinking was impossible in itself. So he was a gut manager. He would go with the gut, and of course he had Roger Craig, who I think was a great compliment to Sparky, and Sparky did rely on his coaches. And Dick Trzaskowski was a great influence on Sparky, as was Alex Gramis. And but Sparky, he didn't miss any pitches, and that's one of the things that I respect about Jim Leyland. If you watch Jim Leyland during the course of the game, he's focused on what's going on.
He doesn't take any plays off either.
He doesn't.
Brendan Bosch looks at a strike. Tigers have a man aboard now with 2 outs here in the 4th. We're chatting with Dave Bergman, who played for Sparky Anderson in the 80s on that '84 World Championship team. And it's a team, of course, that got off to a 35-5 start that year and marched on its way to the World Series championship. And I guess one of the questions I had is, how did Sparky treat that start? Because obviously the ebb and flow of a season, you've got to make sure that your players stay even keel. How did he treat that 35-5 start with his players?
One of the things that was so dynamic about that club is that every day you went to the ballpark, except for maybe 4 or 5 players, you really didn't know what was going on as far as who was going to play and who wasn't going to play.
Right.
So he played everybody, and it wasn't unusual. And Rod, I don't know if you remember this, but we're up in Seattle, and I was on the wrong end of the switch. The game started and they had a right-hander, and the first 6 or 7 guys got base hits, and they brought in a left-hander, and he completely changed his lineup up. And then the same thing happened in Boston. They started a left-hander, and the first 5 or 6 guys got on base, and they brought in a right-hander, and then he changed it again. So you were always on your toes with him, and he did that for a reason. He wanted everybody to be ready.
Yep, he had to be ready early.
Yep.
1-2 on Bosch. And a ground ball to first right at the bag. Xavier Nady will tag it for the out. Dave, can you stick around for another half inning?
Sure, love to.
We'll be back with more from Dave Bergman. Sparky Anderson's number 11 retired this afternoon. Afternoon. Can you name the 5 managers with more career wins than Sparky Anderson? And Sparky won 2,194 games, and I guess a couple of them come to mind very quickly.
I know Berkey can do it.
I have no clue.
All right, then. Let's just give you the answer then. And that would be Connie Mack, John McGraw, Tony La Russa, Bobby Cox, and Joe Torre. There you go. And Sparky is 6th on that list. Cornelius McGillicuddy is the number 1 name on that list. The answer to your trivia question here this afternoon, as we go now to the top of the 5th inning, joined by Dave Berkman on the day where they retired Sparky Anderson's number 11.
Berkey, go back to the final days of spring training before the start of the '84 season, when you were traded from the Giants to the Phillies and then on to the Tigers. Did you have any idea that the squad was on the verge of being as good as they were that year?
I had no idea, other than the fact that when I did show up to spring training with a week left in Lakeland, Florida, Darrell Evans and Larry Herndon, who were teammates of mine in San Francisco, both came to me and said, "This is a special team." Have no idea, that we're going to, win the World Series or anything like that, but this is going to be a good ball club. And I had played against Tommy Brookins, Lance Parrish, Jack Morris in winter baseball in Puerto Rico, so I knew that they had some good players here, but I had no idea that we're going to get off to a 35-5.
Wasn't that fun?
It was fun. It was every day we'd show up and we would say, we don't know who's going to be the hero today, but somebody's going to be the hero. And the thing that was ironic about it, that was so true.
How about when we went out west? I think we had ran off, I don't know, maybe 16, 17 games on the road, in a row, something like that on the road. And the standing ovations that we were getting in cities like Los Angeles, Seattle, amazing.
Well, we got the standing ovations in Seattle because they kicked their butts 3 in a row.
They stopped it. They stopped it.
Yeah, they stopped it.
Miguel Montero leading it off here in the 5th inning for Arizona. It's 1-0 in favor of the Tigers here on a Peralta home run. There's a bouncing ball hit to the right side, a base hit out of the reach of Ryan Rayburn. And Montero has a leadoff single. Berkey, Sparky used to say that a manager will have an effect on maybe just a handful of games throughout the course of the year. As you think back to his managerial skills, I mean, was it different for Sparky? How many games do you think he had an effect on in terms of maybe getting you some extra wins?
You're right by saying that Sparky used to call it 5.
5, right.
I can help you guys win 5. You guys got to take care of the rest. And I would go so far as to say that he had a hand in all of them.
Really?
And the reason I say that is because of the way he molded some of the personalities on that ball club.
This might be a double play. Rayburn to Peralta, and a 4-6-3.
When you can take somebody who has a quiet demeanor like an Alan Trammell and treat him a certain way, somebody like a Lou Whitaker who had a quiet demeanor and treat him a certain way, and then you have somebody like Kirk Gibson and Dave Roseman, some of the what we call character players.
Was Gibby a quiet demeanor?
Gibby was a very, very quiet demeanor.
Yeah, right.
You could be in another state at times and hear what he. But as far as a teammate was concerned, I've been on record by saying there's not a better teammate that I played with. I call Jack Clark and Kirk Gibson 2 of the best teammates that I've ever played with.
Really?
They had what many would call the star ability. They were impact players, but they really cared about their teammates. And if Gibby felt that you weren't giving 100%, he'd let you know.
Yes, he would.
And Jack Clark was the same way. They did it in different ways, but the way they handled the situation was the results were still the same.
You have to be extremely proud of what Kurt has been able to accomplish as a very young manager in Arizona.
It doesn't surprise me because I've known Kurt both on and off the field since 1984. I recognized early on that he's a very, very intelligent man. The only thing that he was missing a part of his repertoire in being a good manager was the patient part. And he has learned that. I think I shared with you before. I've seen him coach little kids hockey, and I've seen him do some demonstrations at the Tiger Fantasy Camp, and some things popped up over there that maybe 15, 20 years ago he may have reacted a little bit differently, but he's definitely matured. And he couldn't have a better assistant than Alan Trammell to kind of keep him under control as well.
Well, Nate, he bounces out to end the inning. Dave, we really appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much. Good luck the rest of the way. We'll see you at the ballpark.
Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Good seeing you.
Dave Bergman played for Sparky Anderson on the day where Sparky's number 11 was retired.
There's a makeup game here tomorrow night at Comerica Park. It starts at 6:05 and it's against the Toronto Blue Jays. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com and make sure you tell whoever is coming down here. It's a special 6:05 start time.
Meanwhile, Brandon Inge skies the first pitch out to center field, and he is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll bring up Ryan Rayburn. Our thanks to Dave Bergman for stopping by and sharing some of his thoughts about that '84 team and more specifically Sparky Anderson. Rayburn is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And still the only run in this game scoring in the second inning. The home run by Peralta, leadoff shot. That's been it so far. Tigers have a run on 4 hits this afternoon. Two 2-0. Saunders ready with the 2-0 pitch. And it's a strike, 2-1. Ryan flares one into right field, straight at Justin Upton, and there are 2 gone. Well, don't forget, when the game ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live as we bring you all the highlights, reaction, and analysis. Tigers Live from the Call Sam Studios and here at the ballpark. It's immediately after the game, and it's right here on Fox Sports Detroit. And the plan is the Tigers will be talking about a victory after this one. Jackson a walk and a strikeout. Saunders has pitcher on a little bit of trouble today. Tigers stranding 2 in the first. They stranded 1 in the 4th. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jackson. We're talking about Saunders' pace and how they want to quicken it up at the start of the game. He seems like he's working at a pretty good pace today.
I was thinking that exact same thing after watching that first pitch that he threw to Jackson, taking very little time after he delivers the ball, backing back up on top of that rubber, getting the sign from Montero, and he's ready to go.
Here's the 1-2. A little off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's had some life on his fastball this afternoon as well. 92. He's been there consistently. Pitched inside effectively.
Did he go? Nope. Mark Carlson at first base. So it's full now, 3-2. And the full count pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Inning is over. You're watching Tigers baseball this afternoon, presented by Bell Tire. As we go to the top of the 6th inning on a glorious day this afternoon here at the ballpark, Tigers and Diamondbacks wrapping up this 3-game series. And a huge crowd on hand here today. They were able to catch the pregame ceremonies with Sparky Anderson's number 11 retired. The one thing I was impressed with, Rod, is that it seemed like most of these folks were in their seats and ready for the ceremony to start right on time.
And I think they enjoyed it as well. It was a fabulous ceremony.
Well, the Tigers trying to make good on this day and put a capper on it with a victory here this afternoon. They lead 1-0.
This is a special ballpark. And we go to some very nice places, but Comerica Park stacks up as one of the more nicer venues in all of professional sports, especially when it's full.
Gerardo Parra is the batter. Here's the one thing that I think they really did well at Comerica Park is they preserve the history of the players that had played here, from the statues out in left center to the names on the wall to walking the concourse and being able to see the different decades of Tigers baseball with those displays. I think they did a marvelous job of really displaying a team's history that goes back over 100 years.
Well, it keeps all the generations of fans connected. And whether you're an older Tigers fan or a new young Tigers fan, everybody's connected in some way.
And the other thing you see is Al Kaline walking around. You see Willie Horton. Just awesome. That's rolled foul down the first base line. 1-2. Parra, a strikeout victim back in the 3rd. He had a couple of doubles in the ball game last night, both of them against Verlander. And Verlander was awfully stingy with allowing hits last night. Now the 1-2. Popped up There may be room. Let's see. Martinez. Finally called off Martinez.
Nice job by Brandon.
Let's go back to the studio now. Time for a game break, and we join Mickey York. All right, Mickey, thank you. And here's a look at the American League Central Division standings. Cleveland and Detroit tied for the top spot, although Cleveland percentage points ahead. Chicago just 3.5 back, yet they're 2 games under 500.
It's going to be a fun race this summer.
Hit hard right at Brandon. No problem. Did you see where Delman Young went on the DL?
I did see that. I saw that play as well, which landed him on the disabled list. Justin Morneau is going to have some neck surgery. The Minnesota Twins just continue to go through a very difficult season injury-wise.
It really is kind of unbelievable, the amount of hits they have taken. And Shin-Soo Choo was injured and placed on the disabled list.
6 weeks.
Strike one on Bloomquist.
Meanwhile, Brad Penny is pitching a really good game here today. He's only thrown 64 pitches. Majority of those have hit the strike zone.
The 0-1 to Bloomquist. Back up the middle into center. First hit today for Bloomquist, 2-out single. Well, Penny has gone at least 5 innings in 14 of his 16 starts, and that includes today's game.
And more than likely, Martinez is going to have to throw here with 2 outs. Bloomquist is one of the guys on Kirk Gibson's roster that has the green light.
Stephen Drew, the batter, and there goes the runner right away. Here's the throw. Safe at second base.
Didn't waste any time.
Number 8 for Bloomquist. And so now the tying run in scoring position. Neither of these teams really have had many scoring chances in this game. Just the second runner in scoring position for both teams in this game. Here's the 0-1. 0-2 on Stephen Drew. Pop up and a ground out. Martinez catching the game today. A lot of fans wondering why Alex Avila would not catch today after hitting a 3-run homer and an RBI double. He had 3 hits last night, but Jim Leyland again reiterating the fact that he really has to be careful with Avila because Alex has caught a lot of games this year. And he certainly has a capable replacement in Martinez. That'll get back out of play. And Leland also talked about that on Tigers Live postgame last night, saying don't be surprised, Avila's not going to play tomorrow. Oh, 0-2. And Martinez blocks it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Which gets back to what Dave Bergman was talking about with Sparky Anderson and how Sparky liked to play everybody, keep everybody fresh. And Leland is sort of out of that same mold. He is not afraid to give his guys day off. Try and pick spots where it might be best for them to watch the action instead of participate.
Well, it takes an entire 25-man roster to win a championship. You can't be afraid to use any of your personnel. And it also takes some nice contributions from some of the guys coming up from the minor leagues. And we've already seen that with Albuquerque. And where would they be without him?
I really don't know. And when you look at Albuquerque's numbers and you stack them up against the rest of the non-closers in the American League, it's awfully good.
He's going to get some consideration for the All-Star team this year. He might not make it, but he's going to get some serious consideration this next week by Ron Washington, who will manage the American League squad.
And really, when you look at how things transpired in this bullpen with Zamaya's injury in spring training and Ryan Perry struggling and being sent down to the minor leagues for a spell,
and Benoit struggling at the beginning of the year,
really stepped up, really saved the bullpen. An unlikely candidate, but he got it done. 2-2 on Drew, trying to drive in the game tying run, and he rolls it foul. This will be the 8th pitch coming up. Upton waiting on deck. Filling now 3-2. Penny in the ball game with 73 pitches, and this will be a big one here. And he lost it, ball 4. That'll put 2 aboard now with 2 outs. First walk of the game for Penny. And Rick Knapp coming out before he has to deal with Justin Upton. Penny's for the most part has been right where you want to be in terms of how many pitches you throw in a specific inning. 17 the most that he has thrown. Furbush has been throwing in the Detroit bullpen. He's kind of watching the action right now. Here is Upton. Single and a fly ball for Justin today. Tying run at second. Go ahead run at first. We're in the 6th. Ball 1. Ground ball to third. Right there is Brandon. He'll race to the bag, and the inning is over. Penny gets a big out. They strand 2. We go to the bottom of the 6th.
the Coors Light sixth inning, and now it's time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. And what a special afternoon it is here today for the Tigers and the retiring of Sparky Anderson's number. Of course, Coors Light Freeze Cam is always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
There it is, number 11, out on the field in right field, right next to Jackie Robinson's 42. Tigers batting in the bottom of the sixth. It'll be Casper Wells in a 1-0 game. It's been a tight one today. Both Saunders and Penny have been very good.
Sparky Anderson surrounded by some great men on that wall. Number 42, as you mentioned, and Jackie Robinson on the other side. Ernie Harwell.
The 2-0 pitch is hammered in the air to center. And Young is there. One out.
Tigers fans, it is easier than ever to find the seats you want or to sell the tickets to the games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan to fan ticket marketplace of the Detroit Tigers. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
Here is Ordonez. Maglio looks at strike one. He is 1 for 2 today, although he should be 2 for 2. A diving play by Ryan Roberts in the third absolutely robbed him. And it also robbed the Tigers of a run, and here it is.
Couple of steps and a dive for Roberts, and Jackson was on the run from first base, and Roberts threw the ball back across the diamond to Nady to complete the double play.
Got him. Strike 3. Maglio walks out of the box. Out number 2. Strikeout number 6.
You talked about the fact that Joe Saunders, before they're being traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks, was a big winner for the Los Angeles Angels. Apparently, he likes pitching against American League opponents.
He's doing well today. He's given up 1 run on 4 hits. The homer by Johnny Peralta is the difference.
Really aggressive with his fastball today. A lot of fastballs today by Saunders, and the book on him coming in was the fact that he had not been throwing a lot of fastballs, has not been all that aggressive in the strike zone.
In the air to right field and hit well. It'll go to the warning track right in front of the wall. Upton hauls it in. The Tigers go 1-2-3. We go to the 7th. An all-star game in Phoenix. Help send your favorite Tigers by voting up to 25 times at Tigers.com. Vote early, vote often, vote your Tigers in there. You can cast your all-star ballot now at Tigers.com. Now, there's a couple of former Tiger All-Stars.
Gibby and Tran.
Back in the day when they were wearing Tigers colors, today they are the manager and bench coach of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I still have that Sports Illustrated that Alan Trammell was on the cover of, and he signed it for me. Still have it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We've got a program for the '84 World Series with my tickets. It's really about all I got from the '84 World Series. And what a great time it was. Young leading it off as we go to the 7th in a 1-0 game. It's been a tight one today. Young, Montero, and then Willie Mo Pena. There's a diving try by Inge, but he can't get it. This will be extra bases. Young going to second, and he'll pull in with a double. Tying run now at second base with nobody out.
It's a breaking ball that was down, and looked like Brandon was going to make this play. Did he? Right underneath the glove. He tried to smother it.
So an opportunity now for the Diamondbacks, down by a run. Miguel Montero stands in. One outside to Montero. Fly ball and a single today for the Arizona catcher. He's leading all National League catchers with 20 doubles this year. He's had himself a really nice offensive season. 9 home runs as well. Straight back, 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers take a little bit of a break from interleague play tomorrow with that makeup game against Toronto. Don't forget a 6:05 start tomorrow night. And Furbuquerque's warming up right now in the bullpen. Scherzer and Stewart tomorrow in that makeup game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul back out of play. 1-2.
We were talking about the contributions that Albuquerque has made since coming up from the minors. Furbush has done some nice work too. Jeff Jones, bullpen coach down there, making sure that each guy knows exactly which situation they might be going into. Also the hitters that they might be facing in that situation, and the scouting report.
Little looper into right center. That's going to drop. Base hit. Young coming to third. They're going to send him home. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's not in time as it skitters into Martinez, and we are tied.
That looked like some miscommunication between Matt Williams and also Chris Young, the runner from second base. He wasn't quite sure whether the ball was going to land or not, so he kind of went halfway. And then he looked like he ran through a stop sign. Did not look like Williams was sending him home.
Didn't look like Matt was doing anything, really.
He was caught in between.
6 Diamondbacks hits. They have tied the game here with a run in the 7th. 1-1 ball game.
I believe this is Matt's first year over at third base. He was the first base coach last year.
Meanwhile, Montero has his 39th RBI. Willie Mo Pena takes inside. For 2 today. Tough day for Pena. Strikeout and a double play ball. And the 1-0. Popped him up. Inge waiting under it. There's your first out of the inning. Pena now 0 for 3.
Brad Penny's best fastball this afternoon has gotten up to 94 miles an hour. And that reading is courtesy of Comcast.
Here's Xavier Nady. One on Xavier. Nady is 0 for 2. He's put the ball on the ground twice against Penny. The well-traveled Xavier Nady, San Diego, the Mets, Pittsburgh, the Yanks, the Cubs as well. Best year probably 07 with Pittsburgh when he knocked in 72 runs.
He was a huge prospect coming up in the minor league. Huge prospect.
That is popped up foul. There is room for Cabrera. 2 gone. And that's going to bring up Gerardo Parra. Parra is 0 for 2. Tigers now been out hit 6-4. Leadoff double in the inning by Young. Montero singling in a run. On a line to right field. That's a base hit. Almost ate up Casper Wells. He'll get it back in quickly though. And to second base goes Montero. Boy, that ball hit hard.
It was hit hard, and Casper Wells initially thought he could get to the ball, and then he wisely understood, you know what, I need to back up and make sure I do not allow this ball to get past me, which he did.
So now a 2-out chance for Ryan Roberts to give Arizona its first lead of the day. He's 1 for 2 with a base hit. Fouled back 0-1. Roberts a late add to their lineup. Melvin Mora was to start, but Roberts inserted late. He has 10 home runs. I mentioned this Diamondbacks team has a lot of power. Penny, meanwhile, has thrown 87 pitches. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Roberts. It's amazing how the schedule has fallen that Brad Penny seems like he pitches every day game. Anytime his start comes around, it's a day game.
He doesn't like it either.
And the 1-1. Little looper into left center. That's going to drop. Base hit. This will get a run in. Diamondbacks will take the lead on the 2-out RBI single by Ryan Roberts. And the first lead of the day for the Diamondbacks. They're up 2-1. It's going to bring out Jim Leyland. And that's going to be it for the starter Brad Penny, who will depart trailing this one 2-1 and 2 men on base. Wallside windows pitching change. Tigers go to the bullpen. Afternoon with a 2-out RBI single by Ryan Roberts, their number 9 hitter. And the Tigers have gone to the bullpen now to replace Brad Penny, who goes 6 2/3 in this game. And really, Rod, one of his better outings of the year, despite what has happened here.
Yeah, they struck quick against him. I mean, he made some decent pitches, but they were able to find some real estate in the outfield, and now they hold the lead in this game, and it's up to the amazing Al Albuquerque to shut them down. Now, take a look at that bottom note. 19 of 20 the base runners he has inherited have been left stranded. Only one has scored.
Awfully impressive. Albuquerque with 44 strikeouts in a little over 26 innings of work.
Wow.
Here's Bloomquist. First pitch at 95 is up and in, 1-0.
It's no secret now with Albuquerque. His signature pitch is that slider, and it's an awfully good one. He has a couple of different breaking balls. The one he throws with 2 strikes is simply nasty.
Two 2-0 on Bloomquist. Now 3 balls and no strikes. Tigers today have been out hit 8-4 as Penny leaves after 89 pitches. Here in the 7th. And the 3-0. He lost him on 4 straight pitches. He has walked Willie Bloomquist, and that's going to load the bases. He's also going to bring up the 8th man to bat in this inning, Stephen Drew. Ball 1. And so that's 5 straight balls that Albuquerque has thrown out of the Tigers bullpen. And that's going to bring Martinez out to the mound and also Rick Knapp.
Well, the Arizona Diamondbacks have the approach here today that they're going to make Albuquerque throw the ball over the plate. And so many times we watch Albuquerque when he's on the mound, when he throws that slider, it is out of the strike zone and opposing hitters continue to swing at it. The Diamondbacks have not done so yet. But really, you have to be impressed with the overall body of work by the Arizona Diamondback hitters this year under Don Baylor. They were not a good offensive team last year.
There's a strike call. Albuquerque pours in a fastball at 96, 1-1 on Drew.
And that might be the best pitch that Stephen Drew gets in this at bat from Albuquerque.
Grounded foul. Now it's 1-2.
That was a hard slider there.
89.
Here comes that back foot slider.
Sellout crowd today, 41,000 plus. Two and two. Swing and a miss, and down he goes, and a big strikeout for Albuquerque as he leaves him loaded. But Arizona takes the lead. They get 2 runs to the inning, and we go to the stretch. action here this afternoon. The Tigers got on the board first in the second with Johnny Peralta led it off with a solo home run against Joe Saunders to make it 1-0, but the lead was taken away in the seventh.
A couple of nicely placed base hits, one by Montero, the other one by Roberts into the outfield. Able to play two Arizona Diamondbacks, and Brad Penny was taken out of the game in favor of Albuquerque, who got out of that jam.
Here's the Comerica game summary this afternoon with Arizona on top 2-1. Johnny Peralta hitting his 12th. Brad Penny 6 2/3, 8 hits, 2 earned runs. The Diamondbacks' 7th inning included 4 hits and a couple of runs. They did, however, leave the bases loaded. And we'll see if that comes back to haunt them. But right now, Joe Saunders has his first lead of the game. And the Tigers in the bottom of the 7th will have Martinez, Peralta, and Bosch against the Arizona lefty. Well, we're down to the remaining 4 greatest moments in Major League Baseball All-Star Game history. Go to MLB.com/moments and vote for your favorite Midsummer Classic, and tune in to the 2011 Major League Baseball All-Star Game on Tuesday, July the 12th, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on Fox. And you can find out who won. So Martinez leads it off. Martinez, Peralta, Bosch. 7 straight retired by Joe Saunders. Victor is 0 for 2. He came in with hits in each of his last 4 games. He swings in the first and pops it up. On the infield, the right side, Bloomquist. So Martinez retired. That's 8 straight set down by Saunders. And that'll bring up Peralta. Big day for Johnny. Homer and a single. Today it managed only 4 hits against Saunders. They trailed 2-1. Their only run coming off the bat of Peralta.
And take a look at Johnny's numbers this year through June 25th compared to last year. A lot more homers, a lot more ribbies, and the batting average way up. Sometimes you forget that Peralta is right in the prime of his career. He is only 28 years old. A lot of baseball left in that body.
A 3-2 from Saunders. Swing and a miss. Man, Joe Saunders dealing today. He has retired 9 straight, and that's his 7th strikeout.
Joe Saunders' season high in strikeouts is just 8. He did that earlier this year against the Philadelphia Phillies, so he is pitching one of his better games of the year this afternoon against the Tigers.
Bosch takes low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Who come in with a pretty good offensive club, and a club that pretty much has owned left-handed pitching this year. Not so much today.
Nubbed foul, 1-2 on Bosch. Inge would be next if Bosch reaches. Tigers got a couple of singles in the first, and then a homer by Peralta and a base hit by Johnny as well. Did he go? He did not. Montero had to run that one down because if they were going to call strike 3, he was going to have to chase it down. Bosch held up. And the 2-2. Fouled straight back. Got him. Strike 3, and Saunders carves up the Tigers here in the 7th, a 1-2-3 inning. 8 strikeouts. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. An emotional day here at the ballpark. The number 11 is Sparky Anderson, retired, and the Tigers right now hoping they can bring the crowd some joy as well with a victory. They're trailing 2-1 as we go to the 8th inning, and Justin Upton will lead it off against Al Albuquerque, and Upton takes a huge, and I mean huge, swing.
Nice piece of cheese there by Albuquerque at 96 miles an hour, thrown right by Upton.
Young and Montero to follow here in the 8th. Albuquerque came on in the 7th inning, walked a man, but struck out the next hitter. It's popped up. Rayburn says, "I'll take it," and he does. 1 away. It'll bring up Chris Young. Saunders has been really good today for the Diamondbacks. He's given up just 4 hits. The D-backs have posted 8 against Tigers pitching. Brad Penny, an outstanding effort today before departing. Young is 1 for 3, double to start that 7th inning off. And another hit for Young. He's taking an aggressive turn, and he'll hold up. 1 out single. That's his 2nd hit today. And for Young now, 5 hits in this 3-game series. It's going to bring up the catcher, Miguel Montero. Nine Arizona hits in this game against Tigers pitching. Montero had a big RBI single in the 7th. There is activity in the Diamondbacks bullpen. Aaron Heilman. Hunter bluffs, ball high and away.
Montero thought the ball was up, and I guess that's about as high as Fox Tracks will go. On the called strike by home plate umpire Chris Guccione. Might not be a bad time for Chris Young on first base to try to steal this base if he wants to do so. This is pretty much a breaking ball count for Albuquerque with 2 strikes. And usually when he throws the slider, he bounces it. And so it will be nearly impossible for Martinez to throw Young out.
Eight steals for Young, although he's been caught 6 times. Measuring his lead. And the 1-2. Soft liner over the head of Inge into left field. Base hit.
Man, oh man, how in the world did he hit that? And this ball is up and it's in. And he pretty much knows he has to swing at it because a previous pitch in that same area was already called a strike by Chris Guccione, home plate umpire. He just fights it off.
Diamondbacks today 2 out of 4 with men in scoring position. And now it's Willie Mopena, who is 0 for 3, including a double play ball and a strikeout. And now Martinez says hold everything. And he will take a slow walk out to the mound. Two-1 Arizona with the lead. We're in the 8th. They have 10 hits today. The Tigers have but 4. Yet the Tigers led most of this day, until Arizona got a couple of runs in the 7th, erasing a 1-0 Tigers lead. There's a strike on the outer edge. 0-1 on Willie Mopena. Diamondbacks signed him as a minor league free agent. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Pena stays alive off the end of the bat. No balls, 2 strikes on Willie Mo. Had a big year a couple of years ago in Cincinnati. Actually, it's a few years back now, in 04, when he hit 26 home runs. Hadn't played in the big leagues in the last 2 years. Pena now 29. After putting up monster numbers at AAA, called up by the Diamondbacks. Albuquerque trying to finish him off, but he missed high. 1-2. Xavier Nady waiting on deck. Swing and a miss, and Pena goes down on strikes. Second strikeout for Al.
Well located breaking ball down and away from Pena, and even though he has that long bat and those long arms, he couldn't reach that slider from Albuquerque.
So it'll be up to Xavier Nady. He's 0 for 3. There goes the runner to third. Big break. Throw comes down to second. Not in time, and Rayburn has a scramble to keep it from going into center field. Stolen bases for Young and Montero.
A lot of times this is exactly what the catcher will do when he knows he has no shot at the base runner that takes off from second. He'll throw behind to try to get the out at second base, but it wasn't a very good throw by Victor, and a nice job by Rayburn just to keep that ball in the infield to prevent that third run of scoring for the Diamondbacks.
Low 2-0 on Nady.
A lot of times that's a planned play. And Victor Martinez goes out in front of home plate and tells his infielders what he will do with the baseball in those types of situations before the pitch is even thrown or before the base runner even decides to steal.
Bouncing ball to short. Johnny Peralta has it. And the threat is over. No runs, couple of hits, couple of steals, and a couple of guys left. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. Wallside Windows. For a free in-home estimate, call 1-800-521-7800. And by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. Got to get the bats going. Tigers down by a run as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in the Motor City. It is 2 runs, 10 hits for Arizona. The Tigers have a run on 4 hits, and the Diamondbacks have made a pitching change. Aaron Heilman has come on now for the Diamondbacks. Inge, Rayburn, and Jackson here in the 8th.
Heilman comes in with a winning record, but the earned run average is over 6.5. But he is averaging a strikeout an inning for Kirk Gibson.
Ground ball to short, deep in the hole. Drew on the backhand.
Stephen Drew had Brandon Inge played perfectly in that hole, which meant all he had to do was get over backhanded and then get the ball on its way to Nady, the first baseman. But he's already shaded Brandon Inge over in that hole, which makes it a very easy play for him.
Don Kelly is going to pinch hit for Ryan Rayburn. That's 11 straight Tigers that have gone down in order. Their last base runner was a single by Peralta back in the 4th. It's been a while, and the Tigers are running out of outs. Kelly is strikeout and a fly ball. Kelly is 2 for 5 this year as a pinch hitter, including a home run, and he's way ahead in the count. 3 balls, no strikes. Tigers today have been out hit 10-4. Here's the 3-0. Strike call, 3-1 on Kelly. He was taken. Tigers' only run coming in the 2nd, and the home run by Peralta. To left, it's sinking, base hit. Kelly has a pinch hit single, and the tying run is on. And that snaps a string of 11 straight retired by Arizona pitching.
Little fella's got the claw out.
Here comes Jackson. Austin with a couple of strikeouts and a walk. It's only the 5th Tigers hit today. Jackson this afternoon, a couple of strikeouts. The base on balls came in the 3rd. Trying to keep it going here after the pinch hit single by Kelly. And he looks at ball 1. Heilman was originally a New York Met. He came to Arizona last year from the Chicago Cubs. Pitched in 09 with the Cubs, last year with Arizona. 70 appearances out of their bullpen. And he slings one in there for a strike, 1-1. In fact, Heilman has appeared in 70 games each of the last 2 years. 78 the year before that. And as many as 81 out of the Mets bullpen. Very, very durable. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball and a good one, a strike, as Jackson checked his swing 1-2. Casper Wells waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. Jackson is out on strikes for the third time today, and that's a big out for Heilman. That's going to bring up Casper Wells. It's 9 strikeouts now for Arizona pitching. Tigers still have not had a man in scoring position since the first. And there's a ball low, 1-0 on Casper Wells. He's 0 for 3 in this game. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it though, and Chris Guccione signals a strike, 1-1. Four of the 5 Tigers hits today have been singles. The only other one left the park. That was off the bat of Peralta, providing their only run so far. Wells has the power, though, to give the Tigers the lead. Casper has hit 4 home runs in limited playing time this year. 3 of them have come here in the month of June, which is rapidly winding down. The 2-1. 3-1 on Wells. So David Hernandez now starting to warm up in the bullpen. Crowd getting into it. Looking for some magic here from Casper Wells. 41,036 today's attendance. Strike called on the outside corner. 3-2 on Casper Wells. Ordonez on deck. Now Montero wants time. Heilman was a starter when he began in the Mets system, but gradually was moved to the bullpen. He's trying to dig through this 8th inning. Arizona leading it 2-1. Now Montero again directing traffic from behind home plate. 3-2. Runner get going on 3-2, and it's ball 4. Wells has a walk. Now the Tigers have the tying run in scoring position. The go-ahead run at first. Here comes Kirk Gibson. He's already signaled to the bullpen. So Hernandez will be summoned out of the pen. We have a pitching change here at Comerica Park, and we'll step aside with the Tigers down by a run.
He started for the Diamondbacks this afternoon and pitched one of his best games of the year. He changed the eye levels of the Tigers. He kept them off balance with a breaking ball, also a really good cut fastball, some changeups. He also retired the last 10 men that he faced before leaving this game, and that 8 strikeouts, a season high for Joe Saunders. What an afternoon for him.
Up the bullpen now to try and save it for him. The Tigers are threatening here as David Hernandez comes in out of the Arizona pen.
He's a hard thrower. And you could see proof of that in the strikeouts. 40 strikeouts so far this year for Hernandez in 36 innings pitched, and the opponent's batting average is just 185. So he has been really good in the back end of that bullpen for Kirk Gibson.
So here is Ordonez, tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first base. Maglio in the game today is 1 for 3. One ball to no strikes on Ordonez. Way high, 2-0 the count on Maglio.
And Maglio should get a really good pitch to hit right here. Cabrera standing in the on-deck circle. Hernandez does not want to run the risk of walking Maglio.
Hernandez worked a 1-2-3-8 on Friday. Here's the 2-0. High and inside, 3-0. He is one pitch away from loading the bases and facing Cabrera. Big Miguel waiting on deck. Inside on 4 straight, none of them close. He has walked Ordonez.
This crowd is going to come to life.
You've got your best hitter in the biggest spot of the game in front of a sellout crowd. Cabrera is 1 for 3, and with the bases loaded in his career, he is a .431 hitter. And they're on their feet right now. You talk about a collar tightening situation for the right-hander Hernandez. First pitch, strike one on the inside corner, 0-1.
97 with that fastball from Hernandez. He reached back. I had to get a little bit extra.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Cabby trying to do just that. Gibby hasn't moved out of that spot. Low, 2-1. And the collar is tightening. Montero walks out to the mound.
3 straight fastballs from Hernandez to Cabrera. All 3 fastballs at 97 miles an hour, which means Cabrera's got a pretty good beat on that heater that Hernandez is featuring. Should he throw another one, the Tigers will take the lead.
Driven to left field, base hit, it's down. 2 runs will score, and Cabrera comes through in the clutch again. 3-2 Detroit. Walks come back to bite the Arizona bullpen.
Let's take a look at pitch by pitch. 4 straight fastballs from Hernandez, all at 97 miles an hour, and you can't do that to a great hitter like Cabrera. You can't give him that many looks at a straight fastball. He will make you pay, as he made Hernandez pay.
52 RBIs this year for Cabrera. The Tigers have taken a 3-2 lead.
He is such a clutch player. Such a clutch player.
And Victor Martinez will stand in now, trying to pad that lead with 2 outs. And he looks at a strike, 0-1. A pinch hit single by Kelly, and then walks to Wells and Ordonez, setting up the big fella. Tigers getting their first runs since scoring in the second. Now the Let's Go Tigers chants ringing down from the sellout crowd. Ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike on Victor. Meanwhile, Papa Grande starting to warm up. Charles Nagy, their pitching coach, running out to the mound. This is a true measure of how clutch Cabrera has been. 7th inning or later in ball games. 333 with 5 home runs. Action in their bullpen. Brian Shaw is warming. Line to center field, base hit. This will get another run in. Ordonez comes around. Cabrera goes to third, and Martinez has an RBI.
I cannot think of a better guy right now on this team that you would love to have up with runners in scoring position in 2 outs. Victor gets it done again.
second in the league in hitting, and he has come through with a clutch knock here in the 8th.
He is making a strong push this year to get to the All-Star game. That's how well he's played the last 6 weeks.
It's a 3-run 8th for Detroit. They lead 4-2. And Johnny Peralta stands in with a home run and a single to his credit. The 1-0.
How about the start by Joe Saunders?
Spoiled. Absolutely spoiled. 8 strikeouts, had retired the last 10 that he faced, was cruising through 7. And the bullpen has given it up. The 2-0.
Obviously, we do not know this team as well as we know some of the other teams in the American League. But did this surprise you at all to look at Heilman's numbers and the fact that he came in the 8th inning with a 1-run game?
Well, we also don't know the situation of Gibson's pen, but yeah, I mean, on the surface, absolutely. How many pitches had Saunders thrown?
100, a little over 100.
Here's the 2-1. Driven to left field, base hit. They're pouring it on now. 5-2 Tigers as Peralta joins the party.
Quality at bat after quality at bat.
Tigers will bat around here in the 8th inning. And now Gibby coming out again. He wants another pitching change with Bosch due up. So as they make another pitching change, we'll be back. 5-2 Detroit.
Like cold hard blast, and we're going to take you back to the 2nd inning with Joe Saunders on the mound. It was Johnny Peralta that has outstanding numbers against Saunders. Got a little breaking ball at the bottom of the strike zone. He was able to reach out and hit it over the Tigers bullpen into the left field seats. And Johnny Peralta, continues to get it done in the Tigers uniform. And he is all smiles these days.
So the Tigers have taken a 5-2 lead. Bosch is the 9th man to bat in this inning. And here are the particulars on Brian Shaw, who is desperately trying to get this final out. Heilman started the inning, then Hernandez, and now Shaw. 3 pitchers used here in the 4-run Tigers 8th. Bosch fouls one off 0-1. Papa Grande just watching the action right now in the Detroit bullpen. It is still a save situation at 5-2. If the Tigers get any more, it won't be. The 0-1. Tap right back up the middle. Going to be a tough play. No play. Infield hit. So that will load the bases.
Look, breaking ball, it appeared to come right off the top of the plate. It bounced high in the air, and with Brennan Bosch's speed, and no play to be made on him.
Brandon Inge started the inning, and now he'll bat for the second time. Fouls it away on 1. Missed it outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Soft liner to right. Base hit. This will get 2 more runs in. Inge goes the other way, and the Tigers lead 7-2. th and 14th RBIs of the year for Brandon, a 6-run 8th. Kelly bats for the second time. And he cues one toward third. Under the glove of Roberts. Score Bosch. It is absolutely falling apart for the Diamondbacks. 8-2.
Yeah, it is. Ball skidded right underneath the glove. It appeared to have some backspin on it, but that should go down as an error.
Make it a 7-run Tigers 8th, and here's Jackson for the second time. An error is charged to Roberts on that play. Each side now with 10 hits. Tigers came into this inning with 4 hits.
They couldn't do anything with Joe Saunders, who started the game. Heilman, who started the 8th. And they were happy to see him. Looks like Furbush is going to finish it, not Valverde. Sometimes a pitcher can be out there and just be absolutely dealing, and then all of a sudden the opposing manager will go to his bullpen, and for whatever reason the opposing bats just kind of wake up, as they have done here today.
7 of these runs, 7 here in the 8th inning, coming with 2 outs. After Jackson had struck out, that was the second out of the inning, and then the floodgates open. Jackson cuts and misses. 3-2. Tigers have 6 hits in this inning alone, which ties a season high. And the 3-2 fouled away. Again, the full count pitch. He went around, strike 3, and that will finally end the inning. But what an inning for the Tigers. They score 7 times in the frame. Cabrera got it started with a 2-run single. Martinez chipped in. Peralta chipped in. What a big inning.
The Tigers open a 3-game series against the San Francisco Giants. The first 7,500 fans aged 21 and older receive a Tigers soft-sided 6-pack cooler. Soft-sided 6-pack cooler. Got to give me one of those. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com.
And we have some defensive changes here as we go now to the top of the 9th inning. Ramon Santiago will enter the game, play second base. Don Kelly stays in the game after pinch hitting. He'll play left. And the new pitcher is Charlie Furbush. Para Roberts Bloomquist will face him here. The Tigers have an 8-2 lead. They scored 7 in the bottom of the 8th. All of them with 2 outs. Para with a single and 3 at bats. Here's a first pitch strike from Charlie Furbush. Each team with 10 hits, although the Tigers had most of them in their 8th inning. 6 of the 10. Little pop up, shallow center field. Jackson coming on, 1 gone.
Jim Leyland was talking about Furbush yesterday afternoon in his office when he met with some of the media members, and he was talking about he could go a couple of different ways with Furbush. He could leave him in the bullpen if he chose to do so, but he also feels like he has good enough stuff to start in the majors and be a good winner.
Well, I think he's kind of changed his skipper's mind, because when Furbush got to the big leagues for the first time and when he saw him in spring training, he felt that he probably was better suited for the bullpen. But now that he's watched him pitch for a couple of months, he feels that, well, maybe he can be a starter.
93 with some late life on his fastball. He's got a really good changeup. He's got a good breaking ball.
There's a pop up, left side, foul ground. Martinez drifting, can't get it. Back into the dugout.
Furbush was starting down in the minor leagues for the Toledo Mud Hens. As a matter of fact, he had 55 strikeouts when the Tigers called upon him, which was leading the International League. And he almost made the Tigers' 25-man roster out of spring training. Went down to the final cut.
Really has done nothing but impress here at the big league level. Here's the 0-2 to Roberts. Pulled to third base off the glove of Inge into left field. A wicked shot.
Self-defense.
It'll be a one-out single for Roberts.
Brandon went over to pick it, and all of a sudden the ball, it was redirected after it hit the dirt, and he just kind of got his head out of the way. Take a look at him get his head out of the way after this ball redirects on him.
Here is Bloomquist.
Really jackknife out of the way of that pitch like it was going to be inside, and it got quite a bit of home plate. Must be the angle that Furbush is throwing from.
Fouled back out of play, 0-2. Bloomquist on base a couple of times in this game, single walk and a steal. And the 0-2. Way high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a pop-up right side. Santiago camping under it. 2 gone. 1 more out to get, and the Tigers will get a victory for Sparky Anderson today. Here comes the crowd now of better than 41,000 as Stephen Drew settles in. For 3 for Drew. Ball 1. There's the bat. All the way out to first base. And it almost hit the runner. Him. That'll put two aboard. Diamondbacks still alive. And that'll bring up Justin Upton. 7-run eighth, the difference for the Tigers. They lead 8-2. Two on Upton. Furbush needs one more strike. Back up the middle into center. That'll get a run in. Arizona not going quietly. It's now an 8-3 ball game. Upton gets an RBI single.
I guess the skipper's gonna go get him.
So Furbush gives up the baseball, unable to pitch the inning here, and that means Valverde will come in after all. 8-3 is our score. We'll step aside. Another pitching change.
the Tigers did a lot of damage in their half of the 8th inning, but the biggest blow of the inning came off the bat of Miguel Cabrera after getting 4 consecutive fastballs from Hernandez. At 97 miles an hour, he finally caught up with one and drove in 2. And that's how the Tigers took the lead.
So Jose Valverde will come in now and try and get the final out of this game. Tigers lead it 8-3.
17 of 17 in save opportunities this year for Valverde. Right-handers have little chance against him. 146 batting average, and he has not surrendered a home run to a right-hander. The guy in the batter's box does have power, however. Chris Young.
He pops it up. Should do it. Peralta. And the Tigers win. And that one is for Sparky Anderson.
Papa Grande, you only threw 1 pitch. You don't be dancing out there today.
Your final score. Tigers use a big 8th inning and win it. Take 2 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks.